Oh, hello. I was just reading some meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I highly recommend it. Today I want to talk about reasons you should stay natural. Now, if you didn't already believe me, I'm natural. I know hard to believe with these sick gains. Now, this is nothing against people who aren't natural. Let me just put it out there. If you're not natural and you're doing your thing, good for you. Whatever. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about why you should stay natural. Because too many fitness influencers promote being not natural, taking steroids. And it influences a lot of younger people, I feel like, and younger lifters. And the thing is, I don't think you really understand that it's a completely different ball game. And there's a lot of consequences that come with not being natural. And there's a lot of benefits that come with staying natural. So I'm going to list you off 5 reasons and 5 benefits of why you should stay natural. I want to start with an analogy that I made myself. I wrote this about a month ago. I don't know when it came to me, but it just did. Being natty is like investing in the S&P 500. It's going to take forever, but you know it'll keep consistently going up and up over the years. Whilst taking gear is like investing in crypto. Yeah, it can explode and you can gain more than ever before, but it can also crash and you lose everything. I've got it written down here. 5 reasons. Reason number 1 is simplicity. So, taking steroids, it changes everything, right? So once you take them, from my understanding, the gains that you make change rapidly. You can gain a lot of muscle really quickly by upping the dose, right? And that's amazing, but it also means that your gains are dependent on the amount of drugs you're taking, which isn't that great. It means that when you take your drugs, for example, if you take them every day or once a week or twice a week or whatever, and what kind of drugs you take can significantly influence your gym, your general mood, your relationships, and just your life in general. As normal men or women, your hormones fluctuate throughout the day and throughout the week, right? Basically, when you add steroids into the mix, you're just basically 10xing that and making it 100 times more volatile. Maybe you'll get really moody and there's no reason for it besides the fact you're taking testosterone or other hormones. So when you stay natty, you know that your gains are dependent on 3 things: your training, your nutrition, and your recovery. So as long as you're training hard to an extent, eating relatively well, whether that's bulking or cutting or even maintaining, and you're sleeping semi-decently and keeping your stress and stuff like that in somewhat of a check, you're going to make gains, right? With the gear, it changes everything. Makes everything a lot more complicated than it needs to be. So basically, in my opinion, if you don't have your training, nutrition, and recovery down to the fucking T, why would you take gear? You're not going to get as much out of it. Second reason for why you should stay natural is less injuries. So when you take steroids, your muscles grow at a substantially faster rate than your tendons and ligaments and connective tissue. You start progressing. Let's say you go from 100 kilo bench to 110. The first thing to really grow is your tendons and ligaments. So the stuff that keeps the muscles to the bone will start to develop first, right? And they'll develop at a rate, let's just say it's 1-to-1 with the muscle, okay? So your tendon grows, your muscle grows. Once you start taking steroids, from my understanding, what happens is this rate gets skewed. So let's say your tendon's still growing at a rate of 1, the muscle will be growing at a rate of 3. So then your muscle's 3 times as big, but your tendon is not as strong to support that weight that your muscle can now push. So that's why you get a lot of bodybuilders and powerlifters as well. When they go to lift heavier and heavier weights, eventually they'll get snapped up. Pec tears, ACL tears, just injuries in general. When you stay natty, your connective tissue has time to develop at a substantial rate, which means that you're a lot less likely to suffer injuries. Number three, you retain your gains as a natty almost permanently. If I get to 100 kilo bench press and I decide to quit lifting for a year, I'll come back and it will take me pretty much half the time to get back to where I was. All right, let's say 6 months. Amazing. It's like a permanent checkpoint in a video game, pretty much. As someone on gear, you can make amazing gains. You can put on like 10, 20 kilos of muscle depending on like your genetics and how much you run. But when you come off, yes, you can like PCT, post-cycle therapy, and TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, and retain some or even most of those gains. But you won't retain all of them. Like, you can't. Your body just can't do it, especially if you stop training as well. You'll lose half the gains. So what was the point? I also hear, and this is so staying natty means you'll pretty much have your gains forever, to an extent. I'm not going to say if you bench 200 kilos naturally when you're 25, you'll be able to do it when you're 80, but you get what I'm saying. Fourth, and this is kind of obvious, is health, both physical and mental health. I've heard that a lot of these steroids can severely alter the user's mind. You think weird things, you just angry. It amplifies your characteristics. So I've heard from people who take them that if you're already a big dickhead, you're going to become an even bigger dickhead. If you're a nice guy, you'll most likely become a nicer guy. This can be good, this could be bad. I've also heard if you take certain compounds, you'll want to kill random people in the street because you're just so angry all the time. Like Tren. Tren is one of those compounds which makes you pretty much insane from what I've heard, which is not good. One of my main two concerns with taking gear though, and why you should stay natty, is I've heard once you start taking gear, if you come off or if you drop your dose, you just won't be as happy as you were on it because you don't feel the way. When you take test, apparently you just feel really like, manly, which is fair because it's the hormone that makes us men. So let's say you come off of that, your life just isn't going to be as good as it was. So you're always going to be craving that drug, which that's not really a way I'm prepared to live right now. And as well, it can make you infertile. And as a man, that sucks. And as someone who wants children in the future, I'm not willing to put myself at risk of that right now. And I don't think you should be either. There's a very common risk that can happen. So, fifth reason why you should stay natty is you're just not ready for it. You're not ready for the gear. If you're watching this and you're like getting into lifting and you haven't been training for like 10 years, or you're not like 25, you're just not ready. I see kids online who are 14, 15, 16, 18 years old taking steroids. What are you doing? You're destroying your life. Maybe not now, maybe not in 10 years, but like you're just cutting years and years and years off your life. And for what? If you really want to be a professional bodybuilder, that's cool, go for that. But if you're doing this just for fun and you're destroying your body in the process, why? If you want to do something with it and even if you just want to take it to the next level, that's great. If you've trained for many years as a natty and you just want to take it there, go for it. But if you're just starting, and not even like finished, you're not even like an intermediate lifter or whatever, what's the point of taking these kind of hormones when you've got so far to go already? Like, are you trying to be Ronnie Coleman? If you are, go for it. But if you're not, like, why would you destroy your life and pay all this money and, have something possibly wreck your future? Now, I'm not trying to bash on steroids, but I don't think people understand the consequences that come with it. And the benefits to if you stay natty, your health will be better, your life will be simpler, your training will be easier and simpler, there'll be less things for you to worry about, there's less chance of you getting injured, you retain pretty much all your gains, and you can go on a more linear path. And once you train for 10 years and you're close to 25, then you can decide if you're ready to get on. Me personally, I think about it all the time. I'm pretty advanced with my lifting and I really want to take it to the next level. But I'm not old enough yet. I haven't been training for 10 years. I'm not 25. And I just know deep down I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for the risks and the responsibility that come from that. But if I am, or when I am, I'll make sure you guys are the first to know. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. All publicity is good fucking publicity.